Good evening to all of you. Once again, on behalf of Inspira Research Association, I welcome Professor Manvinder Singh Pawar sir on the fourth day of this 7 days faculty development program on technicalities of data analysis. And as you all know that the topic of today's session is technicalities of sampling. So before starting today's session, I request all the participants, they can ask any question to Pawar sir regarding previous sessions or any assignments. The recent assignment which I have sent today only, the assignment quiz 3. I think one message I have received from a participant that she has some problem in question number 2. Sir, Pawar sir, one participant is asking for question number 2.
So, who is the participant? Preeti?
I think Suruchi is the name. Suruchi.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I have one question doubt also, sir, because one question answer is wrong. So please check it again.
Yeah, what is that question? Can you please tell me? Preeti ji?
Sir, which one is the non-comparison? I forget the question. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Comparative.
Non-comparative.
Which one is not comparative?
It's a comparative scale actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you have written?
I said the staple. Staple is not including in the comparative because it is including in the non-comparative.
Yeah.
So this, I clicked the staple, but its answer is wrong. I don't know why.
Again, can you please just hold on? Let me have to take the question, or can we take this question at the end, because we are already late, and before we will means I will take it up and then only I will end the session. Please remind me at that time, right?
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir. Sure. Yes, sir.
Right?
Sure.
Okay, fine. Yeah, anything else?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Any doubt, any question you have?
Yes, sir. I have doubt in question number 1.
Yeah, what is question number 1?
Sir, question is related to components of attitude.
Okay.
And there are 3 or 4 options: intention, affective, behavioral, or cognitive.
Yeah.
And I marks attention, I think. So it indicates
Intention.
wrong.
So it is actually related to which is not. What was the question?
Anji, which of the following is not a component of attitude?
And you have written intention. Intention is the third component.
Yes, sir.
Let me take your question also now. Intention is the third component. Actually, I just wanted to confuse you between intention and the behavior. Behavior is not at all a component. That was the correct answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I have told you is the 3. So you have to pick. See, it is a rule of multiple choice question. It is a rule of multiple choice question that the most appropriate should be picked, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the most appropriate is behavior. Intention and behavior are the same thing, but at the same time, intention is the thing which actually is counted for the attitude, because every behavior is not intention, but every intention actually covers behavior, but behavior doesn't cover intention.
Okay, sir, that's why I'm confused. Sir,
Yeah,
actually,
so
I thought
that's why, because on the very first day I gave you very simple things. So I have actually raised the standard a little bit so that you must be very, very cautious. Some people are actually doing it with the, just they want to do it as such. So they are doing it like that. In hurry, they are doing it. Don't do it in hurry at all.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, sir, thank you.
Read twice, thrice. Even today's questions will be very, very tedious. You have to read 2-3 times, then only you will be able to get the correct answer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Yeah, Preeti ji, your question. Let me take your question also now itself.
So, yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
Preeti ji, what was the question exactly?
Is the classification of scales, sir, related to classification codes, which scale is not including in the comparative scale?
Okay, and what you have written,
Staples, sir.
which is
Because
not included in.
comparative scale, sir, comparative. Because this is the not comparative, I think so. Staple is the not comparative. It's coming on the
Yes.
I think some network issue from our side, sir.
Yeah, actually, one phone came and it was interrupting in between. I just cut it down. Now I think it is okay.
No, it is okay from your side, sir. No problem. But issue from Preeti's side.
Preeti's side it is there.
Yeah.
Fine. So
Yeah. Anyone?
Preeti ji, are you there online?
yes,
Are you
sir. Here is no issue network problem. Yes.
Okay. A little bit. Fine.
You stopped.
Okay. Hold on. Actually, I'm just thinking to open my Gmail where I have sent it.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Who is this? Yeah,
Sir Shefali Shukla.
Yeah, Shefali.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Yes, sir.
I was
Even
on the
I'm
other screen
facing the
actually.
same problem.
Just hold on. It's the last one, last question, which second.
Sir, I think so. Second this one.
Oh yeah, second it is.
Yes, sir. It
Now
is
the
second
following
question.
is
Second
not a
question.
comparative scale. Not a comparative scale, yes.
The answer you
Yeah.
have gave me the fourth answer.
Couple, yeah. Of course, this is a staple. Actually, I was trying to make something else, and it actually become. Actually, what I was trying to do, I was again trying to confuse you between the coupled. It is not actually correct answer should have been coupled,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
had it been not a comparative scale, so staple I just wrote by mistake over here. So okay, you are very correct, and you are very cautious about this. So that's great. So you are correct, both of you, right? Shefali and Preeti.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. But I am very happy to just see that you are actually doing it with so much of zeal, and you are just trying to see which questions are correct, which are not. But let me tell you, Raviji, if you can note, there are only few people, those who are coming again and again daily.
Yes.
Right. So rest of
Preeti
the
ji and
yeah,
Shefali ji
Aman is
continuous.
there, Preeti ji is there, Shefali ji, and
Preeti,
Purnima madam.
yeah, Aman
So
ji.
these people are there who are. I highly appreciate you guys, really. Fine. Anything else?
So the answer was coupled
No,
coupled
sir.
comparison, na sir?
Yeah,
Second
coupled.
question.
No, answer was actually two answers are there. Coupled also is
Okay.
correct, and
You gave me
staple
the
also is
coupled.
correct.
Okay, you gave me the
Yeah.
coupled comparison. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why. I actually thought to replace. Previously, I was thinking something else, and I thought I will replace staple, but I forgot to replace a staple. That's why it happened. Otherwise, and coupled
problem.
is a correct one, but even I just actually what actually is paired sample is the one which is a part of the compared scales, right? Compared scales, paired is the correct answer, but I just turned it into couple just in order to confuse. But anyways, you guys are much smarter than me, I suppose. Anyways, all the best, and keep on doing means these things, keep on rocking, and all the best to you. I'm really very happy.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. Yeah. So, Raviji, anything else or any other question?
I think, sir, they have done. We can start, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So, let me tell you, questionnaire again, I'm skipping for a day. Maybe tomorrow we will take questionnaire. I'm starting with the sampling part, because when you are designing a questionnaire, before you have to go for sampling, the questionnaire rather should come after the sampling. That's why I will take questionnaire tomorrow, and I'm taking sampling today, right? So that is the one. So should I share the screen? It's a thank you before we start. We should thank the God. So this we have studied yesterday, right? So don't worry, you will get all the slides at the end of the day. That's it. That is a promise I did in the on the very first day, and I will follow it, right? So need not to worry about. But yeah, this is a good attitude that if had you been worried about taking snapshots, you will be missing a lot, right? So what we will be doing is I will give you all the things, but at the end of the this workshop, right? And as we have promised. So anyway, so let us start with the technicalities of sampling today. That is the topic for the day. So what do you mean by sampling? Anyone? Before we start, what is sampling? Anyone?
Picking up something, sir.
Sorry?
Picking up something, not whole part, picking up part of that total.
Okay, okay.
Picking up something.
Fine. Yeah, anyone else?
Sir, sampling is a technique where we choose a representative audience, we can say, from a population.
Okay. Good, Savita ji. A better answer.
So sampling is a technique in which out of the given population, we select some respondents to analyze that
Okay.
what we want to analyze.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Dr. Meenu, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sampling. A sample is a technique by which we form a group of respondents who represent the whole population.
Great, great, great. This is something better than it represents the whole population. So that actually is, you can say, the purpose for which we do sampling. Yeah, that's great, great. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else? Yes? No? Fine. So let us just see what a sampling is. It's a process of selecting a right individuals, objects, or events for the study is known as sampling. Right individuals, objects, or events for the study. The study which we are doing is the research which we are doing, right? And we should find out the correct people for the same, and then only we can say it's a proper and a good sampling, right? So that's what the sampling is, or you can say that what actually we can know what sampling. So in this way, if we consider these things, that out of the population we are having a little people, and this will represent the entire population. Now, actually, research objectives, they are generally translated into research questions, you might be knowing. So whatever are research objects, or you can say research questions, are translated to research objectives. Okay, and they enable the researchers to identify the information which actually they need. So yeah, my video was off.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay, okay.
Was
So that is what the thing is. So once the information we needed is specified, the sources of collecting the information are sought. That what will be the source from where we will be collecting the information from. So some of the information may be collected through secondary sources, or you can say published materials, or you do literature review, and whereas there will be different ways of collecting the information, like primary sources are there. So primary method of collecting the information could be, we have already studied observation method, you can say personal interview, questionnaire, you can say telephonic surveys, or you can say email surveys, floating of the Google forms, right? And these surveys are therefore useful in collection of the information, and their analysis plays a very important role for finding the answers to the research questions which you have raised, right? So these survey respondents should be selected in the appropriate way. Otherwise, what will happen? Just now, Aminu madam has told that the sample should represent the population, right? So if the people whom we are floating the survey things, if they are not able to, or you can say, means they are not the representative of the population, our entire investigation will be wasted. Okay, that's why the study of sampling is very important, right? Now, before we study sample, we have to clarify some concepts. The first most thing is population. So what is population according to you? Yes, come on. Who will tell? What is population? Yes, come on. What is population? Anyone? We have talked about sample. Now I'm just giving you a hint. If sample is a part of the population, what population is there in that case? Yes. Yes, Savita.
Yes, so we can say all individuals, objects who can be a respondent for the research.
Yes.
That is the population. And
All
then we say-
those, yeah, all those objects, all those people, all those events, which can be the, which can come, the tendency of their being coming in the sample are the population, and sample is the actually collected sample, those which we have selected out of the population in order to do our research is the sample, right? So very correctly said. So accordingly, what you can say, let us just take an example, or you can say the population refers to any group of people or object that form the subject of the study in a particular survey that are similar in one or more ways. Population, this is the last point, is very important. It must be similar in one or more ways. If the people or the objects which are coming in the population are heterogeneous, there will be no question in just including them. Suppose, for example, we cannot include animals along with the fishes in order to do a survey. Okay, so because the impact, maybe we may be doing a survey for example, we may be doing some study on the environmental impact of or the impact of environment on animals and fishes. So both of them cannot be included. Okay, so we have to do a separate study for animals and separate study for fishes, because the impact will totally be different, because the nature is actually different. Okay, so that's but there has to be some similarities. At least you can include all the animals who are living on the earth, means those who are living on the land. Okay, that can be included, right? So let us take another example. For example, the number of you can say full-time MBA students in a business school would form one population. Now, suppose, for example, there are 200 such students. The population size will be 200, right? And we may be interested in understanding their perception about the business education, about the university or the college where they are studying, right? And if there are 200 PMs or class 4 employees in an organization, we may be interested in measuring their satisfaction as such. So there will be a population of 200 class 4 employees, right? So if a TV manufacturing company produces, suppose 150 TVs per week, and we are interested in seeing the quality of the TV, right? So in that case, that 150 will be our population, out of which we will be taking sample of few and we will be checking the quality of it, and we will be able to replicate it to the remaining sample whatsoever. Suppose if an organization comprise of suppose 1000 engineers, out of which suppose 350 are mechanical engineers. So we may be interested in examining the proportion of the mechanical engineers who intend to maybe leave the organization after a certain period of time. So in that case, 350 will be our population, not the 1000. Though the population of the entire company is 1000, but our study is that how many mechanical engineers would stay over here or not. So our population in that case will be 350. Okay. Or suppose we are going to analyze the satisfaction of a patient in the hospital. So the patients over there in the hospital, all the patients in the hospital, those who are existingly there on the date of survey, will be our respondents or will be our probable respondents, right? So they all will comprise of the population. Okay, so the population is, it is actually, you can say, the entire group or entire people who are actually means they are similar in one or the more ways which we are considering them as such, right? So what actually the element further is, an element comprised of a single member of the population. Okay, so out of, suppose for example 350 mechanical engineers we just talked about, each mechanical engineer would form an element of the population. Okay, in case of MBA students, each and every student studying MBA out of those 200 will be the element of the population, right? So that is what the thing is. Next is your sampling frame. So what is sampling frame? Now, sampling frame comprises of all the elements of population with proper identification that it is available to us for selection at any stage of sampling. Okay, so there may be a part of the population which may not be available to us for taking the sample. So excluding all those, sampling frame will comprise of the frame from which we can choose the sample. For example, the list of you can say registered voters in a constituency. Registered voters means they are there, they are already there. Okay, they can form a sampling frame, or you can say a telephone directory, the numbers in the telephone directory. And suppose, for example, the number of students which are registered in the university, right? So the attendance sheet of a particular class can also be there. A payroll of an organization can be there. So these all are the sampling examples of the sampling frame, right? So we know that there is a large number of consumers of soft drinks, and therefore it becomes very difficult for us to form a sampling frame for them. Then what we will do? What will be the sampling frame for if I want to survey those people who are using bank accounts? Our Shefali ji is doing PhD on banking. Shefali ji, am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
So what
sir.
will be your sampling frame, Shefali ji? What is your sampling frame?
Sir, all consumers who are having bank accounts in commercial banks.
So there will be, I think, and Modi ji has made your task more difficult by having
Yes,
this financial
sir.
inclusion.
Yes, sir.
So what will
Yes,
be your
sir.
sampling frame in that case?
Sir, I categorize in two categories, like only private sector and public sector banks. I
No, that
have
even
taken.
for public sector and
So in
private
private,
sector, there will be a lot of people. How will you collect the sample and how you have collected the sample?
yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
So I think
Yes,
you are
sir. So
facing
only
such type of
6 or
problem.
7 banks I had taken.
Okay, so
What,
what
sir?
is your
Sorry.
sample size? What is your sample size?
So sample size is between 300 to 400.
But there
Minimum
will
number
be,
is 300 and maximum 400.
okay, but how have you arrived at your sample size? ऐसे ही.
So that is what that day I was asking you. It's just a random number I had taken.
So-
That day I was asking you, sir, if how
Okay,
to
you will
decide the
get it. You
sample
will get your
size.
answer today. You will get your answer today. Don't worry.
Yes, so this is my estimation that if I get around 300 to 400 consumers data, I think that it will be sufficient for study.
Okay. Fine. For let me tell you one thing. Though formula is also there, but the formula will always result you in sample size of 386 if your population is not defined. Okay, so anything beyond 386 will be a good sample for you, right? So we'll be discussing that anyways. Yeah. So what is a sample? What is a sample? Anyone? We have just now discussed. It is just a subset of a population, right? It comprises some elements of the population. So for example, out of 350 mechanical engineers of an organization, 30 are surveyed regarding their intention to leave the organization, right? So these 30 members would constitute the sample. Okay, so what is sampling unit? Sampling unit. The sampling unit is a single member of a sample, right? Each and every person of which have now been selected as a sample will be the sampling unit. Okay. So if a sample of 50 students is taken from the population of suppose 200 MBA students in a business school, which we have just now discussed, if we have taken 50 out of those, then each of the 50 students will be a sampling. Okay. Another example could be like that if a sample of 50 patient is taken from a hospital, so each and every patient which has come in it will be called as a sampling unit. Now next is, what do you mean by sampling? We have already studied. So it's a process of selecting an adequate number of elements from a population, adequate number of elements from a population, so that the study of the sample will not only help in understanding the characteristics, but will also ensure to generalize the results. So the generalization of result is also equally important when we are talking of sampling, right? So that's why it is said that your sample size must be adequate. Okay, so we will see later there will be two types of sampling we will be studying today. One is probability sampling and another is non-probability sampling that we will be doing. Okay, now what is census? What is census? Census means the examination of each and every element of the population. That will be called as a census, right? So we can say census is an alternative to sampling. Now what happens if we are doing a census survey? There is no question of inferential statistics then, right? For example, if we are surveying all the 200 MBAs or all the 300 mechanical engineers or all the patients which are there in the hospital at that time, so when we are investigating the entire population, then the data which we collect is called census. It is a census. Okay. Now you tell me which is better, a census or a sample? Anyone?
So sampling.
Sampling is better. Are you
The
sure?
census is better if we want to examine the whole population.
Sir, it depends on our observation, what we want to have, like what type of data we want. If we
Depends
want
upon the total population, sir.
detailed version, then we go for the population census. But if we want to be cost effective, less time consuming, then we go for the sample.
Very good. I would say it totally depends on the population size.
Oh, okay.
If there are 200 people in a population and I'm allowed to collect all the things, I'm allowed to survey all. What's harm in surveying all? Right? Why we should go for sample then? Suppose 200 MBAs are there in a college and I'm allowed to, or I have the access of the entire people. I should do that rather than asking only 50 people out of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Instead
But
of
it
floating,
depends on the need of the information, right?
Yeah, instead of floating my survey to 50, I will float it to 200 people. 100 for 150 photostat और करवाने पड़ेंगे मुझे बस. And if my pocket allows me to just spend maybe 300 rupees, आगे पीछे का अपन लेते हैं तो 300 रुपए में अगर मेरा काम हो जाता है, again the thing which you have said, Pallaviji, is coming. Time, money, budget, right? Okay, so if our budget allows, so accordingly we can increase our sample size. Right, Pallaviji, very good, excellent, thank you. Yeah. So next is what is? Can you just give me some examples of sampling in the real life? Have you ever purchased rice from the market? What happens when you purchase rice from the market? So in the day-to-day life, we keep on doing sampling without knowing that we are doing sampling. Okay. So there is hardly any person on this earth who has not done sampling in his real life situation. Suppose, for example, for purchasing rice, you go to a grocery shop for purchasing rice. What do? And you have been instructed by your wife that you have to purchase a very good quality rice, and that too within 80 rupees. So what will you do? You will just check the quality of rice, taking just one something out of the heap. There is a heap. Out of that, you will just take a sample and see what quality it is, isn't it, before you buy it? So what is that? That is the concept of sampling being used, because you are just hand picking some rice from the heap. Okay. Somebody has come at your home for a dinner. So what will you do in order to serve the dinner before? We just take a spoon of soup and taste it whether the soup is good enough to be served to the guest or not. Or do we drink the entire soup in order to see whether it is? If you will drink the entire one, nothing will remain to be served to the people those who have come to your house. Sometimes what happens? Sometimes when you taste it, then you have to stir it, right? In order to make the salt uniform along the entire soup, and then again you taste it. Am I correct or not? So we have been using this sampling, and even while purchasing a book, we try to turn some pages at the bookshop just in order to see whether the book is good enough or not. And even if you are purchasing the e-books, the e-book seller also allows you to access through certain pages of the books, that in order to see whether it is good enough or not. So that is a sample. So I have seen this sampling going on in Kindle. So if you purchase something from Kindle, it allows you to just scroll through certain pages so that you can know the content of the book. Okay, so that is what it is, right? So we keep on using the sampling in our real life itself. Okay. Now, census versus sample. Now, why should not we use sample, or why should we use sample as in compared to the census? As just now Pallaviji has told us that sample saves time and cost, right? So in a research study, we are generally interested in studying the characteristics of a population, right? Suppose, for example, in a town there are 2 lakh people, small town, 2 lakh people. And we are interested in estimating the proportion of those households who spend their summer vacation on the hill station. I just want to know that how many people are there, or what is the proportion of the population who spent their summer vacation on a hill station out of this 2 lakh. Okay, and how I can obtain this information? This information can be obtained by asking every household in the town. Okay, so I will go to entire 2 lakh people, okay, and will try to seek the information. This is one way. So what is the alternative way? Alternative way is that I can obtain the same information by choosing a subset of 2 lakh household and asking them for the same information, right? And this subset, as I've already told you, is called a sample. So based on this information, we can generalize, we can replicate that how many people. So suppose I have selected you can say 100 people out of this 2 lakh. and I have come to a conclusion that out of these 100 people, 60% of the people go for spending their vacation at a hill station. Okay, so what I can generalize that I may say that out of 2 lakh people, 60% are also going. So in this way, we will generalize the thing. Okay. Yeah. Next is the time constraint, you can say. What is the time constraint? It will take a lot of time, and sampling actually saves our time. Right. Let us just consider that we are interested in estimating the monthly average household expenditure on food by the people of Delhi. Now there are 1.2 crores people living in Delhi. So it will take a lot of time for us to just, go to them and ask them. So instead what we can do is we can select 2000 households and we can ask them that how much and to what extent do they do. Okay. So this will be a less time consuming, and without sampling we cannot come to a conclusion, right? And there are certain situations where the sample is only the option. When we want to estimate, suppose the average life of, you can say, LEDs, okay, or otherwise, so what will you do? We cannot just check each and every light by just lighting it up. What we can do is we can just, in order to test the quality, what we will do, we will just take a sample of it and we will replicate that the remaining will also be equally good. So we do not have any choice rather than taking a sample. Okay. So this is, and another thing, one more thing is there, sorry. Another thing is reliability. Now, how will you check the reliability? Reliability can also be checked with the help of a sample, right? So rather, when we are studying a sample instead of the entire census, then only we can see that to what extent it is reliable. Okay, so this is about doing a sampling and going with the census, right? Yeah. Any doubt till now? Anyone?
So that is on random basis, sir.
Sorry?
That is on random basis, isn't it?
On random basis.
Yes, because sampling, whenever we are collecting sample, if we don't go for census, if we go for sampling,
Yes,
that will be definitely on random basis.
Yes. You have to go on random basis itself, but random selection can only be possible if you know the population size. If you do not know the population size, you cannot do random sampling. And mostly in our social science and management studies, do we have the exact population size? It is difficult. It is rather impossible, because suppose, for example, Shefali is doing her work in banking, right? So even if with all the efforts, if she tries to get the sample size also, then also it is not possible for her to actually achieve that. Why? Because there are many accounts which are closed daily and there are many accounts which are open daily. Would she be able to take a track of it in order to determine the sample size as such? Not possible. So in that case, we have to use non-probabilistic.
Is there any specific rule, sir?
Sir, I'm coming on probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling. There we will be discussing all this, right? So next thing is means after going with the sampling and non-sampling error, we will be doing that also, right, sir? That's sir. So we will be discussing it over there. Okay. So yeah, thank you. So yes, sir. So sampling versus non-sampling errors. Right. So there are two types of error that may occur while we are trying to estimate the population parameters from the sample. These are called sampling and non-sampling errors, right? So what actually is sampling error? Anyone? What is sampling error? Sampling error actually arises when the sample is not a representative of the population. Okay. For example, we were talking about the MBA students. right? So for example, our population comprised of 200 MBA students, right, of a business school, and we want to estimate the average height of these 200 students by taking a sample of 10. Okay, I have taken a sample of 10 out of 200, and I will check their heights and will replicate that 200 students will be having the same height. Okay, and let us assume for the sake of simplicity that the true value of the population mean or the parameter is also known to us. Okay, so population mean is known to me. Okay, still I just want to just check that whether sample is saying the same thing or not, right? So when we estimate the average height of the sampled students, we may find that the sample mean is far away from the population mean. So the difference between the sample mean and the population mean will be sampling error. Otherwise, what would have happened? What would have happened? The sampling mean and the population mean should have been almost altogether equal or near to equal. Okay, now this error, sorry, this error could have arisen because of I have taken only 10 students from the entire population. Suppose, for example, now we increase the sample size from 10 to 50. What will happen? We may find that the sample error may reduce. And this way, we keep on doing so. We may note that the sampling error reduces with increase in the sample size, and the increased sample may result in increasing the representativeness of the population. Okay, so bigger is the sample size, higher will be the representation of the population as such. So sampling error is something which happens because your sample is not a representative of your population. So just these are the keywords one must remember that what a sampling error is. In the same way, what is non-sampling error? So the non-sampling error may arise for sure because it's a non-sampling error. It is not arising because of the sample, but because of maybe some various other reasons. And some of the reasons can be when the respondents are asked for the information on a particular variable, they may not give you correct answer. Suppose you are asking the height, average height of means the height of a person whom you have taken into sample, and he is telling you the weight. Okay, so this may happen if your instrument might not be correct or the way you are asking is not correct. Instead of asking a person that what is your height, you should have actually measured it. Okay, so that's why we just ask, are you educated? People will say, yes, I am educated. Because instead of asking the level of the education, you must have asked him certain questions, which may determine whether the person is educated or not. Okay, so these are the things which we have to keep in mind for saving ourselves from this non-sampling errors also. Error is an error, whether it's a non-sampling error or sampling error, it is going to affect your results. Okay, and sometimes, especially when the ladies are asked what about their age, just take an example. Okay, Savita ji, what is your age? Savita ji?
Sir, 31 years.
You are saying correct now.
Yes.
Shefali, may I ask your age?
Yes, sir, 29 years.
You all are saying correct. Otherwise, mostly when we ask ladies their age, they actually do not say correct. They always say, I am 16. My wife always says, I am 16 only.
Now
So
they cannot hide it because date of birth is there, no? That birth certificate is there. They cannot hide it.
But sir, this hiding also sometimes, it is good. We may enjoy that hiding too.
I think it's just a perception that women are hiding their age.
No. It happens. It happens actually. Either what they do not hide their age by asking. When we ask, they do not try to hide, but they try to do something with their face and with their appearance that age actually gets reduced. Am I correct or not, Shefali ji? You just tell me this honestly.
Yes, sir. It may,
ऐसा तो होता है ना?
according to my experience, I always tell my correct age. So
So that is okay. You are telling your correct age, but the women actually they try to hide their
yes,
age
sir.
by
It's possible.
thoda sa
Yes, sir. It's
makeup,
possible.
thoda sa and means walking and all that. They try to maintain themselves that they want to look always 60.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Am I correct or
Yes,
not?
sir. Correct.
And there is
Correct, sir.
no
Correct.
harm
Yes,
in
sir.
that.
Absolutely correct.
So, anyways, it was just for a joke in between. But yeah, so there can be. Tell you, for example, you are asking income of someone. Income, mostly people they do not tell you the exact or actual one. Okay, so that is so. These all are the errors which may happen, and this may hamper our results, right? So the error can arise by even out of this also. It can suppose, for example, you are punching the data in SPSS, right? And you have entered 36 instead of 63. This happens. So this is also a non-sampling type of error. So there can be errors even at the time of coding, right? Half of the time you have coded 1 is equal to male, 2 is equal to female. Rest of the time you have changed the codes and it is the other way around. So what it will do, it will hamper a lot. And if the population is of the study is not properly defined, it could lead to a lot of errors. Okay, so defining a population itself is one of the very, very important. Okay, and further the chosen respondent which we have chosen in order to take the responses, he may directly refuse you that I will not answer. Then what will you do? So this is the error which has been corrected, and especially when you have randomly selected him and he is not responding or he is giving a wrong response. Okay, so it is something which we have to be cautious of, right? So there are these two types of errors are there when we are going with sampling, and we must be well aware of these errors, that what is a sampling error and what is a non-sampling error. Okay, fine. So next question is, what is a sample design? So these are the very, very short and important things, tiny things which one must understand. What is a sample design? Okay, what is a research design? Anyone? What do you mean by research design? What is research design? Anyone?
Basically, it is a synopsis.
It is a
Research design, basically the synopsis. Because you need
synopsis.
to make the synopsis.
Okay, sir. What is synopsis? Don't say it is a research design.
Outline, no, total, because before we are going for research, we need to outline our total activity.
Absolutely.
So because
absolutely.
that has to be
very correct, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, come on, finish, sir. Come on. You are correct. You are going correct.
So that has to be laid down, no? Before whatever we are going to do in our research work. So that has to be laid down in the synopsis.
Yes, yes, yeah. Shefali, you want to say, want to add something? Not audible, Shefali? Unmute yourself.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sir. Basically, research design is a research plan, like what all the strategies we want to carry out throughout the research. That is research design.
Can I say research design is a plan of the research, how you would be carrying out your research?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir? In the same way, sampling design is also a part of your research design, that how will you be collecting the sample? Very easy, very correct. If you remember research design, you can remember the sampling design. Okay? Right? So sampling design actually it refers to the process of selecting samples from a population, right? So I have already told you there are two types of sampling designs. One is probabilistic, or you can say probability sampling design, and other is non-probability sampling design, right? So what is probability sampling design? So probability sampling design are used for conclusive research, when we want to conclude something, right? And in probability sampling, each and every element of the population has known chance of being selected as a sample. Known chance does not mean equal chance, but known chance is that yes, it can be selected. And simple random sampling is a special case of probability sampling design where every element of population has both known and the equal chance of being selected. So when we are talking of simple random sampling, it is having every sampling unit is having, every unit of the population is having an equal chance for getting selected. Or you can say every unit in the sampling frame is having an equal chance of getting selected in the sample, right? So in case of non-probability sampling, the elements of the population do not have known chance of being selected in the sample, right? So these sample designs are used in exploratory research. That is, the non-probability sampling designs are used in the exploratory research, you can say. So these are the, you can say, sampling methods or sampling designs, right? So probability or a random sampling design, it is a simple random design. Systematic sampling is also there. Stratified sampling, cluster sampling is there, right? And in non-probabilistic sampling, judgment sampling, convenience, quota, panel sampling, snowball sampling is there. Okay. And we will study this as we will be proceeding further. So first is your probability sampling. So again, I'm asking, what is a probability sampling? Anyone who has not yet answered? Yeah. Nikhar Goyal ji. Would you like to answer this? Nikhar Goyal. Nikhar Goyal. Are you there? Nikhar ji? Okay, anyone who has not yet answered even once? Vikram Meena? Priyanka Gupta? Priyanka ji? Priyanka Gupta ji? Ashu Agarwal ji? Sachin Pimple ji? Yeah, Bharat
Yes, sir.
Raj ji. Yeah,
Yes,
Bharat.
sir. Hello.
Yeah, Sachin ji, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I
Probability
am.
sampling क्या होता है?
Sir, I'm not very much aware of this probability sampling. The learnings.
सामने लिखा हुआ है, देख के बोल दो ना.
Sir, that I can read, but I'm like, I thought you were asking me, so I'm being a little more gentle not to read it.
No. It's you are. I respect your gentleness.
Sorry, sir. Yes.
It's okay, but yeah, please. I thought.
Shall I read that, sir?
Sorry.
Shall I read it?
You can please carry on. But we want to see your video also.
Okay, just a second. Just a second.
Yes, Sachin ji, please.
Yeah. So probability samples are when you do know of every unique member of the population, and therefore each has a probabilistic chance of being invited for a sample.
Yes. When you do know the very unique member of the population, means all the members, the first most important thing over here is that you must know or you must be having the list of the population. Then only probability sampling can be done. If you cannot arrange or cannot manage the list, cannot be done. Therefore, the probability can only be there of the things which we think that there is a chance for this thing to come up. Am I correct? So if we do not have the list, we can say that we cannot say that there is a chance of the things to come in the population. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for participating. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So what we can do is further, we can just because we have already seen the types. So first is your simple random sampling with the replacement. Now what is this with the replacement we will study, right? So what actually is with replacement? Come on, anyone? Okay. So for example, if there are 100 elements in the population, right? And we have written the identification number of each item. Now what actually happens in a random sampling or probability sampling is that each and every element of the entire population is assigned some code or some number. Okay. right? So we also have a list of the code, and what we will be doing is we will be having a bowl and in which we will put all the codes, and we will churn it and pick up one number from there randomly. Randomly means without seeing that what is there. You might have played Housey or Tambola, you might have played. So what is the person? A person is always churning the ball and taking one number out of it. So that is one of the things which you can do for sampling. So each and every element is tied up with a code, and we can just do it. Okay. Second case is you can use your computer in order to generate the random numbers. Okay. So that can also be there in order to, and each the numbers means you can just give a command in Excel that you want to generate random numbers from, suppose for example 1 to 100, and it will keep on giving you certain numbers according to your sample size, and you pick up that particular tagged number respondent, and you can ask him the question. Now what the thing is, with replacement means even after considering that person in the sample, we are again putting him back. Or without replacement means the once a person has entered, he will not be asked the things again. Okay. So this is something which is called with replacement and without replacement. Okay, so without replacement is also likewise. Now what happens? What is the difference between these two is that, so whenever, suppose for example there are 100 people, 1000 people, let us consider 100 people, right? So if you have already asked one person, right? So the remaining are 99 now. So the probability of selection of the remaining people increases. So as more samples are taken, the probability of remaining people again increases to a certain extent, because now the number of total people has reduced, because the person who has already given the response is now out. But in case if of replacement, the probability still remains same, right? So this is what is the difference between the simple random sampling without and with replacement. Okay. Yeah. Next is your systematic sampling. Now, systematic sampling actually takes care of the limitations of the simple random sampling, that the sample may not be representative one. Sometimes sample which you have taken as a simple random may not be a representative of the entire population. Now, in this type of design, the entire population is arranged in a particular order, right? And order could be, suppose for example, you can say order can be number of the employee code given to the employees, for example, or the calendar dates can be given as such, as the elements are arranged, and these can be arranged in the ascending and the descending order of the magnitude which you have assumed as to be the random one. Okay, or it can also be alphabetical order, right? And then after systematically arranging it, then you can just choose certain random things out of it. So that will be a systematic, means you have actually provided a system for taking the samples, and that too random. So in that case, what will happen? You will be able to understand that it will be more replicable to the population from where you are taking the sample, because otherwise sometimes you take random sample and it actually comes out totally different from the population mean. So that should not be there. Okay. Next is your stratified random sampling, you can say, right? So stratified random sampling is also one, which is one of the very good way of doing the sampling. So under this sampling design, the entire population or the universe, or you can say the universe, you can say the population, you can say, or you can say the entire things is divided into certain strata or the groups. Again, this method also allows you to have a representative of the sample to be the representative of the population, right? So they are divided into different groups, and these groups are mutually exclusive type of groups. Okay, and they are collectively exhaustive. Mutually exclusive means collectively exhaustive means they all are collectively similar, but they are different in individuality, right? Right. So means it means that it further means that means by mutually exclusive, you can say that it may belong to one strata, right? For example, males and females are there. So if I will take just a simple random sampling, what will happen? There is a chance that I may get only one female and 10 males. But if I have divided them into the strata, and now I am taking the random sampling out of the strata, I can ensure that the number of males and females will be as on the basis of the proportion of the strata which is there in the sample. Okay, so that is what is you can say the stratified random sampling. And stratified random sampling can be on the basis of the various types of strata. For example, on the basis of income, you can divide. On the basis of suppose age you want to take. So stratum is actually on the basis of the demographics. So we want that the demographics should be equally, you can say, replicable. So of whatsoever we have, right? So in that case, we go for random sampling. But at the same time, there are certain issues with the stratified random sampling. I think some things might be coming in your mind, that how to just go for this stratified random sampling. Now, first of all, I would ask you why we are going with this stratified sampling. So see, one is that the researchers are often interested in obtaining data out of the components or the about the components parts of the universe. Means you want to just have everything included over there, right? Now, for example, the researcher may be interested in knowing the average monthly sales of the cell phones in the large, medium, and small types of stores. Now, if I will take the simple random sampling, I cannot distinguish between the large, medium, and small stores. Now, if I already have that I have to collect samples from large, medium, and small, so what I have actually done is I have stratified them. Okay, and accordingly we'll be collecting the sample. Next is using a stratified random sampling is that it is more efficient as compared to the simple random sampling. Why? This is because it divides the population into the strata and increase the representativeness of the sampling to the population, because each stratum are homogeneous to others and heterogeneous outwards. Right, so that's why we go for random sampling, but there are some limitations, some issues with this. Now, first is what criteria should be used for stratifying the universe or the population? What are the criteria which can be used? So the criteria for stratification should be related to the objectives of the study on what. So my objective of the study was to just see the significant difference between the sales of small, medium, and large stores. So I will stratify the population on the basis of small, medium, and large stores, right? So the entire population should be stratified in a way that elements are homogeneous within the strata, where it is heterogeneous between the strata, right? Homogeneous within the strata means all the samples, all the small stores, right? The list of all the small stores will be at one place, right? So they all will be small within. So that list will comprise of all the small stores. The medium stores, all the medium stores. The large stores, all the large. So 3 stratum are there. Now, they are homogeneous within, but they are heterogeneous between. Right? Small is small and medium is medium. Okay, so there is a heterogeneous between. So this is one of the things which one has to understand, right? So, for example, if you can say, if the interest is to be estimate our interest is to estimate the expenditure of household on entertainment, right? So the appropriate criteria of stratification should be the household income, right? So entire population should be distributed, divided on the basis of household income, lower income, medium income, and higher income, right? Because why so? Why so? Why cannot we distribute, or why cannot we just make this strata on the basis of any other thing? Because we are interested in studying the expenditure So expenditure is directly proportional to the income. A person who is having more income will spend more. This is a tendency. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so this is why we have done this is because these things are highly correlated. So one has to see the correlation, right? Let us take another example. Suppose we want to estimate the. So let us take some topic from the girl's point of view, right? So we want to estimate the amount of money spent on cosmetics, right? So what can be the, you can say a good strata? Anyone? How will you divide this? I want to understand that how much money, or you can say, I just want to know that on the basis of the sample, I would like to understand and know that you can say means people those who are spending on cosmetics. What strata should I keep for this? Anyone?
Can it be according to age?
Age, okay. What else? Cosmetics are used by males also.
But we are doing study on females, I think. So we will classify females.
No, I have not told you.
Okay, I got confused because you started with female perspective. So I thought study is only for females.
Perspective is female, but population is male and female both. So one strata can be on the basis of gender, right? That we, and what will be the hypothesis over here? That there is no significant difference of spending by males and females for cosmetics. Yeah. So what I will do, I will.
If we have males and females, so strata can be one can be male and other can be females.
Yeah, one stratum can be male, other stratum can be female, and strata is gender.
Yes.
Right. So here the strata is gender, stratum is a part of that. For example, if we are dividing it into higher, medium, and lower income group, income is a strata, whereas higher, medium, and low is strata. Okay, Savita ji? Yeah. So good example, right? So accordingly, we can see that who is actually spending what type of thing. Okay. So researcher may actually go for 2 or more criteria for stratification. Now it totally depends on the problem which is there in hand. Okay. So this would not only increase the number of strata, it will also make the sample difficult if the number of strata is like that. Okay. For example, I just want to understand how many lower income female people are spending money and want to compare it with something else. Okay, so that will be more, and you can even go more complex in that. Okay, so generally stratification is done on the basis of the demographic variables, as I've already told you, like age, income, education, gender, right? So customers are usually stratified on the basis of stages, income levels, right? Their buying patterns, right? And even companies may be stratified on the basis of their size, industry, profits they are making, or you can say their market cap level. Okay, so that is one of the things. Next issue is how many strata should be considered. Now this is again one thing, right? So how many strata should be considered? So this is just a, you can say it's a common sense. So as many strata as possible should be used for that element of each stratum, right? Now, for example, if you are considering this what you call as a gender as such, so there can be 2 stratum in a gender, and there will be 1 strata as such, right? So now it totally depends that how many stratum you find homogeneous. So that will be there. Okay, so but it is not practical to increase the number of strata, because again it will make your study complicated. So too many strata may complicate your survey, and and you can means your preparation, your tabulation, this all will be at mess. Even you will be adding more cost. The cost effectiveness will also go. Okay, so that is that. Next is, what should be the appropriate number of sample size to be taken in each strata? Right now, this question actually is it actually pertains to the number of observations to be taken out of each stratum. So at the outset, one can determine the total sample size. We actually understand what will be the total sample size of the universe, right? And we can afterwards allocate these things between the strata. Okay, so let us assume, for example, the population size is n. Okay, now suppose this is to be divided into 3 strata, right? So suppose the strata is of size 1, 2, and 3. So what will be how will be the distribution should happen? It should be in proportion of 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these strata actually should be again mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. This is very, very important. Okay, so these should be mutually exclusiveness and collectively exhaustiveness is required for the strata. So each of these strata could be treated as the 3 populations. It should be so homogeneous, right? Now, if the total sample size is n, which is to be taken from the population, the question arises that how much sample should be taken from strata 1, 2, and 3. So it can be the total numbers, right? So you can just make it on the basis of the proportion. Suppose, for example, I want to collect data. So the real life example which our madam is having yesterday, I think, who was asking me some of the things. I think Savita ji, you were discussing your thesis yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how have you designed your sample collection? Let us just ask.
Sir, earlier I was planning to target only Delhi, and we were going for online and offline both. But then it was a suggestion which came that getting the number of responses will not be possible. So we should go for that crowdsourcing and social media platforms. So when we go for this crowdsourcing, we don't have any filter of specific city. We just have that filter of option filter for countries. So I can select India only there.
Let me ask you, what is the objective of your study?
So the main objective is that I want to check impact of safety security services on repeat patronage intention.
Impact of safety and security services
on repeat patronage intention. It is a study based on hotels.
Okay, yeah, hotels. Fine. So safety and security measures in hotels in the simple language, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So more simple you will be, much more better data you will get.
Yes.
Okay. So it is regarding safety and security, and now you want to assess only those people who have visited a hotel in the last 6 months at least once.
Yes, sir.
They will be the respondents, right?
Yes.
Now there are hotels all around the country.
Yes, sir.
Right, and you want to study India as such. Right. Now what you should do? How will you just say that my sample is a representative of entire India? How would you be able to say?
So that is what I was thinking. That's why I was discussing the point with you, because stratification in this case will
why I stopped you yesterday was because I wanted to discuss it today.
Okay.
Now listen very carefully.
Yes.
You know the population of India. Just take census survey of 2011, and let us assume the population in all the states will grow at the same pace or the same rate of growth. So the you can say CAGR of growth of the population of all the states be constant. This is our assumption. You have to assume something at least, right?
Yes, sir.
The growth of the population in the entire India will grow by the same rate, and you are taking, and that's why it will be immaterial, or you will be indifferent to take either 2021 or 2011 census, no problem, right? So because the rate of population in the entire India has grown at the same rate. Fair enough.
Yes,
now
sir.
In 2011, you are now, because we only have the data of 2011 available with us, right? Now what you will do is you have to consider, because it's the entire population. So let us consider that it will be good for you to have a sample of 1000.
Okay.
Okay. Now you divide this 1000 in the proportion of the total. Suppose, for example, India's population is 1 lakh. Suppose, for example,
Yes.
right? And in Rajasthan, there are 5 lakh people. Okay. Sorry, 5,000 people.
Yes.
5,000. So what you will do?
I'll take 5% from Rajasthan.
Absolutely, you have to take 5% of 1000, means 50 people you have to take from Rajasthan.
Yes.
Right. Now you start searching those people whom you know in Rajasthan. Okay. Even if you get one, you can apply snowball sampling over there in order to get more people, those who are residing in Rajasthan, and they have at least stayed for once in last 6 months in the hotels.
Sir, I had one confusion regarding this. I mean,
Yeah.
we can find out the population, but we are not targeting everybody. We are targeting people who have stayed in hotels. So how will I get to know that number?
Yeah, that's what the thing is. That number is not important, because you have to ask the people, have you stayed in the hotel for at least for one day in last 6 months?
Okay.
Or listen, second thing is, if you have good contacts in hotels, somewhere, some contact in hotel or somewhere with through someone,
Yes.
okay, you can even ask the hotel people to share some data with you, at least one. There you can make out. Okay, so that can be another option. But this is very difficult because the hotel people do not share their data.
Yes, that is the problem.
So you might be facing this, yeah. But
Yes.
at least you may find, or another thing is that, but it will be difficult, because had you been taking only Rajasthan, I would have told you to take 4 cities of Rajasthan as such, and go on personally visit these cities and through the railway station. Because those who are traveling at least will be maybe staying, the probability is more.
Yes, sir.
You may get some respondent out of it over there. Okay, so that can be one of them. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So my purpose of telling you, I have actually means qualified 2 points. One is that you are being held, and all others are also being held. That how to go for certification. Right. So this is what
Thank you so much.
the strategy. You are welcome. Right. So this is how we can proceed further. And guys, if you still have some personal issues with the selection of your strata or something like that, or maybe population, maybe anything, you can approach me on my phone number. Right. Fine. So let us just go with this probabilistic sampling that we have already gone with this simple random sampling. We have gone systematic, also stratified. Yeah, why this is coming again? Yeah. So one more thing is there, which is called cluster sampling. That is also a part of your probability sampling. So in cluster sampling, the entire population is divided into various clusters in such a way that the elements within the cluster are heterogeneous. However, there is a homogeneity in the clusters. Now, this is completely, totally different from the stratification. What happens in the strata is that you are homogeneous within, but heterogeneous outside. And you try to find the significant difference between the strata. In case of cluster, it is totally different. Right? And actually in cluster sampling, what happens, when we are doing this cluster, so what we do is the sampling out of the clusters is done on a random basis. Okay, so those things which are heterogeneous within, so those things which are heterogeneous but homogeneous among us all. So you can say, suppose for example, there are 5 clusters which you have identified. So which comprise of heterogeneous type of participants in one cluster. So you can say heterogeneity itself in one cluster will be as good as the heterogeneity of the other cluster, and all the cluster will be heterogeneous within, right? And we can say, because they are having the equal degree of heterogeneity within themselves, we can say they are homogeneous between. Now what will happen if you can do this type of thing? Then you can apply a simple random sampling in order to choose any one of the cluster or any two of the cluster according to whatsoever is your way. And then you can go for the survey of that particular cluster instead of doing the survey of the entire population. So that will also solve your purpose. Okay, so that is also one of the way of doing the sampling. Now, when these samplings are done, these cluster samplings, suppose you can say that the chief executive officer of a company wants to develop a product, and new product development ideas are to be evolved. Now, what he will do? He will just prepare the committees who are the, you can say, the organizational committees which will comprise of various people, because when you are talking of product development, each and every person who is involved in the product development will be a part of it, right? So he can have various clusters, and then he can take the opinions of various clusters and frame his strategy in order to by the combined advice of all these, he can come up with a good strategy for his product development. So this can be one of the, right? Next is your non-probabilistic sampling, right? So what is a non-probabilistic sampling? So non-probabilistic samplings are the cases where you do not know about, means you do not know of every unique member of the population in question. That is, the entire user group is there in our case. In other words, we can say that every member of the population does not have an equal chance to be in the sample. Okay, so that is, I think, more easier one. And this is actually this definitions I have taken from this Science Direct. So this is the encyclopedia of social measurement from where this has been taken. So this actually convinces. Now, in case of a non-random sampling, we can have judgment sampling, convenience sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling, right? So we will be studying this. Okay, now further, so let us just take these things one by one. Now, convenience sampling means what? Very simple way of non-probabilistic sampling is convenience sampling. Convenience sampling is used to obtain the information quickly and inexpensively, right? The only criteria for selecting the sample units in this scheme is convenience of the researcher or the investigator, that it is up to my convenience that whom should I include or whom should I exclude, right? So convenience sampling is commonly used in exploratory research. So this is because the purpose of the exploratory research is to gain an insight into the problem and generate a set of hypotheses which could be tested with the help of a conclusive research, which is done through random sampling, right? So when every little thing is known about the subject, the small scale convenience sampling can be used for exploratory work to help and understand the range of variability of the responses in that subject. Okay, so commonly you can say the convenience sampling used as a, you can say you can choose your neighbors, you can choose your friends, family members, right, and other colleagues, and you can say bypassers, आसपास से कोई जा रहा है उसको भी आप पूछ सकते हो, right? So that is called convenience sampling, right? You cannot say that I was standing, I just went into a mall and I randomly chose some people from there, and in this way I have done a sampling. Now this is my random sample. No, this is not at all the random sampling, right? For random sampling, you must know the population. So people, they misconcept themselves also, and they misconcept others also. So whenever you are picking up the people at your convenience, it is a convenience sampling, not a random sampling. May the people whosoever are the bypassers are coming over there, but you have not randomly selected them. Okay, so this sample design is often used, for example, in the pre-test phase of a research study, such as pre-testing of your questionnaire, right? So people interviewed in a shopping center for their political opinion, you can take monitoring price of a grocery shop with the objective of entering the trends in the inflation of the economy, right? So for example, on the petrol pump, you have asked some people that what do you think about what is your opinion about increasing the price of the petrol? Will it affect the economy or not? Or even you can request the people to volunteer to taste your product. Please tell us, please have a cup of coffee. This coffee is a new product. Please tell us how it is taste to you. Are you finding it good or not? Okay, or how it is different from the coffee which you have been drinking before. You can use your students or employees of the organization to conduct an experiment or whatever you want to do. Okay, so interviews can be conducted on a TV channel for some people. Na? You might have seen that. बताइए सब आपको कैसा लग रहा है? Okay, सब तरफ बाढ़ आई हुई है. आप बताइए आपको कैसा फील हो रहा है? Anyways, that is not the purpose, but yeah, this is the way we actually go for convenience, right? So this is what we do. But yeah, from the point of view of doing an exploratory study, it is good enough, right? Next is your judgmental sampling, right? Now, what is judgmental sampling? So under judgmental sampling, experts in a particular field, they are chosen, and what they believe to be they can be the best sample for the study in that question. Now here the judgment of the expert is used to identify the representative sample. For example, shoppers at a shopping center may serve to represent the residents of a city. Means those who are coming for shopping, they may be considered as a representative of this study, and they may be selected to represent the country also. Suppose you have taken some of the, suppose one you can take one metro city and one medium type of city like Jaipur and another non-metro city. Okay, so judgmental sampling design is used when the required information is possessed by a limited number or a category of people. Okay, so this approach may not empirically produce satisfactory result and may therefore, you can say, it will compromise your generalization. Okay, so these are, you can say, the limitations of it. And further, there is no objective way to evaluate the precision of the results again. So a company wanting to launch a new product, and if he is using their judgmental sampling of the experts who have prior knowledge of the experience of the product, right? So this can be one of the examples. So focus group of the experts may be conducted to get the insights. You can take opinion of the leaders. Okay, so in the same way, fine. So the judgment sampling actually it calls for a special effort to locate and gain the access of the individual who have actually required information, and you want to use that information. Now, most common application of judgmental sampling is in the B2B business or B2B marketing. So here, a very small sample of the lead users, key account holders, or you can say technologically sophisticated firms, because you cannot just ask these things generally to a normal person who doesn't actually understand. So in judgmental sampling, you have to be a judge and you have to see whether a person will be able to understand my question or not. Okay, so that's what happens in our judgmental sampling. Next is your snowball sampling, right? So snowball sampling, you can say it is generally used in, it is difficult to identify the members of the desired population. Just like study just now, we have seen Savitaji. So Savitaji is looking forward for those people who have stayed in the hotel. So what she will be asking, even if she find one, she can ask him that, do you know someone else also, and can you provide the number of someone else whom I can refer and whom I can take collect the data from regarding the safety and security in hotels. So, and when you are talking with that person, you can ask that person in order to that, please give me some number of other person. So actually what is happening, actually snowballing is something just which you might have seen the snowballs which actually start from the top of the mountain and it keeps on becoming bigger because it keeps on taking all the snow which comes in the way. That's why it is called, you can say, snowball sampling. Okay. So under this design, you can say the respondents, or you can suppose, for example, you want to know some doctors who have specialized. Suppose I want to take a survey of those doctors who are orthopedicians. So what I will do, I will ask one doctor, and with the help of him, I may approach the other doctors who are orthopedicians, and I just want to have a survey of maybe walking sticks, or maybe what you call is that trolley in which we just, I'm manufacturing that with some more innovation. I just want to have a survey of that. Okay, so that they may be interviewed, or they may be asked to fill the question, right? And this could result in a very useful sample, because the people, all those who you will be finding in the snowballing, will be having a relevant thing. So the main problem is to make the initial contact. That's what I suggested Savita ji also, that first most contact, or certain contacts, if you can make one, then afterwards the things may become easier. Once this is done, these cases actually, they identify more number of members in the population which resembles them. Okay, so this is called snowball sampling. Another is you can say quota sampling. So the quota sampling, you can say that it includes the minimum number from each specified subgroup. Now there is a difference between quota sampling and the stratified sampling. Okay, so you must have at least minimum number of people, those who are conforming with that group. Okay, and sample is selected on the basis of certain demographic characteristics. Again, the things are similar as that of the strata, but here the minimum number is to be specified. In stratified, the minimum number is not there. We are taking the proportion of certain population, and we have some criteria in order to see that what type of things will come in one of the strata, stratum, right? So the investigator here is asked to choose a sample that conforms to the parameters, certain parameters. If you fit in that parameter, you will be in that quota, right? And suppose, for example, field workers are assigned quota of the sample to be selected for satisfying certain characteristics. Okay, so if they are fitting in one characteristic, they will be qualifying to that particular quota. Okay, so this is all about your probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling size. So next step is very, 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 very important. Yeah, I know, because we have started late, so we will be ending a little bit later. Yeah, any problem till now, or you have any question, you can ask me now regarding the probability and the non-probability sampling.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any specific rule to go for sampling, means ratio or proportion from the whole population?
So if you are going with a stratified sampling, I've already told you that you can take the proportion.
Right.
Okay, for example, Savita's case, right? So she wants to have a representation of the entire India in her population, in her sample. So what she can do is, for the before starting survey, what she can do is she can just take the proportion which is available, right? So the population size of Rajasthan divided by total population of India, that can be the one of the criteria which can be there.
Right.
Okay. Now again, sir, it totally depends on your objective. So that's why I told you, that's why this is the beauty of this workshop, that on the basis of the objective, your sample size in your data collection depends, and on the basis of your objectives only, your analysis must be there.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have objective of something, and you just for the sake of applying test, people apply test just in order to have something which is, and they consider themselves to be the great one. That is not the research at all. If you want to learn it, it is okay for that time being, but not at all from the point of view of doing a research. Right, sir?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So should I proceed further with determination of sample size?
Yes.
Now, sir, this was again one of the questions, Das sir, you were asking me yesterday, what should be the sample size? So here you will be able to understand, sir. Okay, fine. So the size of a sample depends on the basic characteristics of the population, the type of the information required from the survey, and the cost involved. Okay, therefore a sample may vary in size. It may be because of various reasons, right? So does the size of a population influence the size of a sample? Yes, anyone? Can someone answer me this? Yeah, any guess about it?
Obviously, sir,
Yes.
obviously.
I think yes, sir, it should. I mean,
So the size of the population influence the size of the sample. How many of you say yes?
I feel yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So those who say yes,
Yes.
on their videos.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on your videos. I'm just taking a survey. I think this is a wrong way of doing a survey because people are even hesitant to on their videos like that. Or they might be thinking that because I'm fond of watching them over here, that's why I'm just asking them to on their videos again and again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 people? 5.
5. Yes, 5.
Okay. So rest of the people. Okay, let me ask it like this. How many of you say no? Off your video. Everyone video will be off. You will see. How many of you say no? Bharti ji, you say no. You're not audible. Unmute yourself.
So actually, I'm not sure, but I feel suppose if the population is very large and researcher wants to do some research, they cannot take the entire population, sir,
Exactly.
or is there sample?
So the answer is no only.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the answer is no. The size of the population does not influence the size of a sample, and we will be able to prove it. Okay, now see how. Okay, so we will be doing this. Right? Chaliye. Now there are certain methods of determining the sample. The first one is arbitrary picked up. Now researchers may decide the sample size by their own, and they can start doing the research. Now arbitrary, if you will go with arbitrary, it will question the accuracy of the result. Okay, so it should be avoided totally. Second is which is already allocated in the project, right? So for some projects which you have got from the government, the total budget of the field survey is also provided, right? So if the cost of the sampling per unit is known, one can easily obtain the sample size by dividing the total budget with the cost of the sampling size, whatsoever is given. And some projects actually specifically mention that you have to collect this much of sample from the public, or you have to collect this much of sample in order to authenticate your results. So that is also given, right? Third is the literature view, that how other researchers have decided the sample. So if they have decided in that way, I will also take the same thing. So this is also a equally good approach, but one should be able to justify it, right? Now finally, and the most important approach is confidence interval approach, which we will be learning, right? So the most commonly used approach, or the basis on which the literature reviews people have also determined the sample, is the determining sample on the basis of the confidence interval, and it also covers your inferential statistics. Okay, so let us see this, that how it will be done, right? So confidence interval approach is there. So in this approach, following points are taken into account for determining the sample size. Number one is variability in the population. Okay. So it would be seen that the higher variability as measured by the population with the help of, okay, what is the indicator of variability? Can anyone tell me? What indicator will you use in order to see the variability in the population? Come on. It is very simple. You might have been known about deviation.
Sir, is it a standard deviation?
Absolutely, it is a standard. Why did you take so much of time, Purnima madam? It is standard deviation itself. Or otherwise, you can take it as a variance. Variability means what? Variability means variance. Right? Anyways, Purnima ji, you are very, very correct. So,
It's Shefali Shukla.
Shefali ji, you have answered it because
Yes,
you
sir.
are not on your video, and that's why I gave the credit to Purnima madam. Her actually that is blinking.
It's okay. It's okay, sir. Actually, there is some disturbance in network, so
Okay,
it is taking little
no
time.
problem, no problem, no problem. Right. So the variability can be measured with the help of standard deviation. Right. Larger will be the size of the sample. Higher will be higher will be the standard deviation. Larger will be the size of the sample. You can say. So higher variability as measured by the population standard deviation. Larger will be the size and larger will be the sample. Right. So if the standard deviation of a population is unknown, a researcher may use the estimate of the standard deviation from the previous studies. You can just go through, right? Or alternatively, the estimate of the population of standard deviation can be computed from the sample data also. So sample data, because we are considering sample as a representative of the population. So sample standard deviation, we assume it to be equal to the population. Okay, right? So this is one. Second is the confidence attached to the estimate. Right. So it is the matter of judgment how much confidence you want to attach to your estimate. So we assume it to be a normal distribution. Right. So higher confidence the researcher wants to estimate, larger will be the sample size. Very, very simple. Okay. Now why it is this is because the value of the standard normal coordinate, that is Z value. Z value, you know, right? So Z value, for example, for suppose 90% precision, right, or 90% confidence level, the value of Z is 1.645. So as you increase the confidence level, right, so more you want to be confident, the more value of Z it will. So from 90 to 95, it will be from 1.645 to 1.96, right? Okay. And this
Yes, sir.
value
Yes,
of
sir.
Z, yeah, value of Z you can see in the table itself. And we all are familiar with the value of Z. So higher will be the confidence, more will be the sample size, right? Next is your allowable error or margin of error. Okay, so greater is the precision, it will result in higher sample size. Now we want our results to be very, very accurate. Okay. Now when accuracy is there, the margin of error will be low. Okay. So margin of error will be low, greater will be your precision. Okay, getting or not getting? So if the researcher is seeking greater precision, the result of the sample size would be large. So these are the three important things which one has to consider. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let us just see that how do we work out the sample size for estimating the population mean. Now in probability theory, you might have gone with this central limit theorem. So central limit theorem states that the distribution of a sample variable approximates a normal distribution, that is a bell curve, as the sample size becomes large. Okay, so if you start with a smaller sample and you come to the larger sample, the sample distribution itself start taking a normal curve. Okay, now assuming all the samples are identical in size and regardless the population, that's what is the, because every theorem is having their own assumptions, right? Now the sampling distribution of suppose X, sample mean is X, follows a normal distribution with a mean mu and a standard error of Sx. Okay, irrespective of the shape of the population, distribution, whatever sample size is large. Symbolically, it may be written as this one. Okay. Now we have to actually calculate the, you can say, how we will be able to estimate it. So these are the things where X bar is representative of sample mean, mu is the population mean, sigma X bar is the standard error of mean, N is the sample size, capital N is the population size, and sigma is again the standard population standard deviation, right? Whereas small s is considered to be the standard deviation of the sample. Okay, so sigma X bar will be is equal to sigma upon under root of n when the samples are drawn from an infinite population. The population is infinite. So under root of n we will be taking, if we will be taking under root of n, it will go to the infinite type of that. We will be considering that population is infinite, then we use this, right? So when the sample is drawn from a finite population, we know the population, then n is there, capital N, because we know the population size. So if we know the population size, we will be using this formula in order to get the sigma X bar. Okay, so the expression, this under root of capital N minus n upon n minus 1 is called the finite population multiplier. This is what is the finite population multiplier which we'll be getting, because we know the population size and it need not be used while sampling of a finite population, provided n upon n is less than or equal to 0.05, right? So standard normal variate Z may be written as this one. That what is the, we already have this value of Z as such, right? Because we understand, we know how much is the precision and how much is our what you call is the value of the sigma. Okay, so accordingly, if you calculate the n out of this, how much it will be? It will be this one. So this is the final formula for calculation of n, right? Where E is the margin of error. That is, what is the margin of error? Margin of error is the sample mean minus the population mean. That's what is the margin of error. That is E. So remaining things, if we know, then we can directly calculate the this. So we will be doing some questions, some of the things. So you please note down this n is equal to Z square sigma square upon E square. How we will be calculating n? N is the sample size, which is equal to Z square sigma square and E square. Okay, so it may be noted by this that the sample size of a sample is directly proportional to variability in the population, that is Z square. For a confidence level, right, it varies inversely with the size of the error. Okay, and it also be, you can also note one more thing, that the size of a sample does not depend on the size of a population. Is there any population over here? Can you find any population over here? Have we ever referred capital N in this formula?
No, sir. No, no.
No, sir.
So the statement which I told you, that the sample is irrespective, it is indifferent from the that of the population, right? So it is proven over here. Now let us do some of the things. So here is this thing with you. Can you calculate the sample size in this? Come on. So an economist is interested in estimating the average monthly household expenditure on food items by the household of a town, right? So based on the past data, it is estimated that the standard deviation of the population, the monthly expenditure on the food item is rupees 30. So standard deviation is given to you 30 with allowable standard with the allowable error of rupees 7. So E is also given to you, and estimate this. Now what is the what you have to do? You have to estimate the sample size required at 90% of the confidence. So your confidence level should be 90%, and at 90% confidence level, the value of Z is 1.645. I've already told you. Okay. So can you tell me what will be the sample size? See, E is given 7. Sigma is also known to you. And you have this, the value of Z also at 90% confidence level. By seeing the table, you can get it. Here I have given it for your convenience, and this is the formula. Can someone calculate? Hurry up, hurry up. Let me see who does it.
Is it 270, sir?
270.
I don't know if I have multiplied wrong.
You might have.
Yes, I'll check again, sir.
Yeah, sure. Z square sigma square upon E square.
Is it 49.54?
How much?
49.54.
Absolutely. You are very correct, Pallavi ji. Great. 49 point, not 54, it is 49.70 or approximately you can say. Yeah. Now, if such type of thing come, now this is a sample. Can you take 49.5%?
No.
So
We have to take it 49 or 50.
No, you have to take it 50 only. Even if 1.01 is also given, you have to get it up. Why? Why I am not using 49 over here? If had it been 49.025, I should have used 49 as a percentage.
Yes, but it is the person only. So when we talk about a person, so if we add it to then we are not talking about percentage or all. We are talking about a sample or any like thing like that. So we are going to add
49.025 will only 0.25 of the person will only give my fingers. Can my fingers answer anything?
No. Okay.
Another important thing is that these formulas give you minimum sample size.
Yes, human sample.
So if you go beyond, if you take less than that, there will be a problem.
Yes.
Okay, so we must go for the further. Chaliye, next one.
Okay.
Yes, do it. So you are given a population with a standard deviation of 8.6. Determine the sample size needed to estimate the mean of the population plus minus 0.5. That is the error. Okay. With 99% confidence level, and at 99% confidence level, the Z value is equal to 2.575. Come on. Yes, who will respond? Come on. Who has done it? Very easy.
So 1961.41.
Only you will answer.
1009. Oh, sorry.
Fine. Keep your answers.
It is right or wrong?
Yeah. Let us see what others have done.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Dipali, I want answer from you also. And Das sir.
Sir, it is 1961.41.
Okay,
61.41, or we can say 19.
Das sir, are you calculating? RK Das ji. Sir, this is especially for you. You only asked me what should be the sample size. Yeah, Preeti ji, have you calculated, ma'am?
Sir, 1961.54.
Shefali, you also got 1961?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pallavi ji, what is your answer?
It's 1941. Sorry, 1961.41.
So 1961.41
same answer
or 1962. So absolutely correct.
1962.
Yeah, 1962.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I hope now you are able to understand. So let us do one final one, last one. Okay, do it. Yes, I have started receiving answers on your chat box. Richa Singh ji has already told 213. Shefali madam also.
213.
Yes, sir. 200. Yeah, 213.54.
So Richa Singh ji, can you please come online? And Simran madam also. So 0.55 will make it 214, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
now it totally depends on the things which I have already told you. I hope your concepts are now clear regarding how to calculate sample size, right? Fine. So that is the
Yes,
end
sir.
for the
Yes,
day. Yeah. And because I think I have answered all the questions, but still, if you have something to to ask me, you can ask.
Good
Okay.
evening, sir.
Yeah. Simran
Sir,
ji.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a confusion about it. What is the difference between factor, dimension, and construct?
What is difference between
Factor, dimension, and construct. I'm always confused about it.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Sricha, acha, you are okay, ma'am. So, Sricha ji, what you want to ask about factors?
construct and dimensions. What is the difference between them? Among them?
Factor and construct both are one and the same thing. First of
Okay,
all,
sir.
make it clear, right? Both are one and the same thing. There is no difference between factor and construct, right? Now,
Okay, sir.
these factors and constructs are derived from the variables. Okay, so grouping of certain variables or reduction, factor reduction technique actually gives you something which is called factor.
आपका कब है presentation कल? आज?
पूर्णिमा मैडम प्रेजेंटेशन तो अभी चल
अभी
रहा है
आज 8 बजे.
हाँ पूर्णिमा मैडम प्रेजेंटेशन तो अभी चल रहा है कोई बात नहीं. Anyways, so it happens, no problem. So what the thing is, now dimensions are something, suppose for example a variable is there. Variable may be having different dimensions. Okay, so or you can say dimensions are there from the point of view of cases also. So if a case I am considering, it may be an or case, you can say case are the respondents. They may have some dimensions. So dimension is something which is used multiply, but the variables, the combination of variables, you can say gives you the construct or the factor. Okay, is it clear?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
because in statistics, when we are using these words, one must be very, very careful about it.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have seen some videos. They said there is a difference between factor and construct. So I'm always confused about them.
No. It is, I don't think that there is any difference, because even when you will be going with this, see, when this confusion happens, suppose you are, you might be seeing the videos of structural equation modeling. There,
yes, sir.
They use this word construct as such. Okay, so when you are applying this SCM, the word construct is often used over there, but it is one or the other way. It is the factor only which is because the combinations of the variables, or even sometimes variables are also confused with the dimensions, right? So there may be various dimension of a construct, right? But these dimensions are nothing but the variable which is actually making construct a construct.
Actually, it became more confusion in HR because there are so many dimensions. We are talking about so many constructs, so it is very much confusing in HR.
See, let me just tell you one thing. Whenever you are confused, Srichaji, and it is for everyone. Whenever you are confused, even I use the same technique. Whenever you are confused regarding anything, go with the dictionary meaning.
Okay, sir.
Dimension is what? Suppose I may be having one dimension that I am teaching you this, or we are just interacting on this workshop of data collection and the technicalities of data collection and analysis. One of my dimension is this. Another dimension is that in last 4 days I have changed the colors of my turban and my dress. Another dimension is that I always wear matching. Right, so these are the things which actually tells my personality. So when you are from the HR point of view, because you have asked, so there may be dimensions of a person which actually defines a person as such.
Okay.
Okay, but when you are talking of a construct, the dimensions will be different. So the variables cannot be the dimensions of a construct as such. Okay, Srichaji, but I'm really thankful to you. Why? Because you have opened up the insights for others also. So keep on asking that question if you are having any if you need any clarity, right? So this was me actually. I brought you in, but I hope from tomorrow you will keep on coming up and we will be interacting in a better way, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Amandeep, you have some question. You want to ask something? Thank you, Sicha. You're not audible, Aman.
Sir, there are some persons who said that we have to calculate growth rate in Excel. Then some persons
very easy. Growth rate in Excel can be calculated very easily if you have yearly figures. Just one formula and you will get the growth rate. So what's harm in that?
Sorry, sir.
Sorry?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to listen.
Yeah, what I am saying is it is very, very easy to calculate the growth rate in Excel. If you have yearly figures of anything, you can easily calculate growth rate.
No, sir,
You
I
know,
have confusion. Some people suggest that we have to calculate in SPSS. Okay, or even then
SPSS it is SPSS, it is tedious to calculate the growth rate in SPSS rather than in Excel. It is just a simple formula.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone, anything else?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
Sir, in my questionnaire, I am using convenient sampling method.
Okay.
Because due to COVID restrictions, I cannot use simple random sampling method. So I am using this convenient sampling method. But
Had
it
there
is
not been COVID, na? Had there not been COVID, your PhD is like that you cannot use random sampling. I'm telling you.
yes, sir, yes, sir. So, but sir, there is some limitations of convenient sampling, like biasness will be there. So is it considered to be reliable?
Yeah, I was muted by our host actually.
It's okay. It's okay,
रवि
sir.
जी ज्यादा हो गया आज है चलो कोई बात नहीं. Yeah, Shefali, you can ask me. You have my phone number also. I received your message. You can ask me on phone whatever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sure.
So guys,
Sure, sir. Thank you so
yeah,
much,
it was,
sir.
I hope it was very nice to interact with all of you for me, and I hope you have understood the session which I have delivered today. And if you still have any problem or any issues, we can take it tomorrow. Raviji, you will be getting this particular quiz after some time because I have to prepare it. Today's quiz I have not prepared yet.
No problem, sir. No problem. I will share them tomorrow.
Okay, fine. So today in the evening before I sleep, I make sure that I just hand it over to you, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Fine, Raviji. Thank you, and thanks to all of you.
Thanks to you, sir. Thanks to you for again wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and thanks to all the participants. And I will share the assignment as soon as possible. I received from Pava sir. And if any query regarding anything, you can always message me or contact me.
Raviji, I will take only 2-3 minutes more.
Sure, sir.
Would like to request everyone to on their cameras today.
Yes.
This is my request.
This is screenshots.
This is my hand joint request to all of you.
Yes. Please on your cameras.
And please remove your mask, sir. Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am, Professor Sonali.
Yeah, Professor Sonali, Nikhar ji, and then Nikhar Goyal ji, please.
Divya Sethi ji.
Nikhar ji.
Yeah. Ramesh sir, Sonali madam, Sangeeta ji, Divya madam.
At the end of the session तो मैं कराता ही सर ये last के day में तो compulsory होता है last के दिन.
Dr. Ubaid, तनु सचदेव जी, पूनम जी आप आज दिखी नहीं हमें तो आज अमावस तो नहीं है पूनम मैडम आज तो चांद दिखाई नहीं हमें.
Having a lot of network issues, sir, here.
Okay.
So that's
anyway,
the reason why I
for 2
could
minutes
not.
at least we can, right? Just sir will just click one photograph. Sonali ma'am, थोड़ा सा कैमरा एडजस्ट कीजिए ना. Yeah, Dr. Ubaid, Megharaj ji, Ashu Agarwal ji, Jaskaran Singh ji, please on your video.
Okay, sir. Thank you, participants.
Sir,
and
photo
one more thing, I want to announce to all that as you are aware that we are going to organize international conference, virtual conference in October month, 23rd and 24th. You can also prepare your research paper for the journals and for the edited ISBN books. If you want to participate in this conference, you can also apply these things which you are learning from Professor Pava sir.
Yeah,
So you
this
are
is
most
one of the
welcome.
this is one of the very good opportunity.
There are 12 awards also, 12 best paper presentation awards.
Oh, great.
You can prepare.
That will be great. And if I may be able to help you out in improving your papers, it would be my pleasure.
Yeah, sir, you
So,
are the co-chairperson in technical session second night.
yeah,
24th October.
Yeah, thanks for that opportunity of again. I will thank you because that's again opportunity for me
No,
to
no,
learn.
sir.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, sir. Okay, thank you so much, all the participants. Thank you so much, Pava sir, once again.
Right, sir. Right.
Tomorrow
Okay.
we will meet
Thanks.
same time on 5th day. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.